What's up, YouTube? I just want to make a short video real quick. I was working on this Tamiya DB01 Durga belt driven. Let me pull these off. So you can see how these work, okay? This belt's going to be changed. Anyway, it's got a ball diff up here. So it's two equal length belts that run to two ball diffs. So I still have the diff case on that one, and those are the sway bar mounts right here. The sway bar mounts right there and into there. I'm gonna get sway bars soon. Anyway, here's the center transmission. The ball bearings, I'm gonna clean those. This runs. This isn't like a Speed Demon because it's set up for spec racing. 17.5. That's a 17.5 Novak Havoc spec racing setup. 17.5 is one step above, I guess you would say, beginner or novice. You get 17.5 stock, and you get 13.5 would be intermediate. Anyway, with the 23 tooth pinion, it'll still do around 35 when running correctly. These belts, they have they're pretty. This one isn't as bad. This one's pretty bad. It's pretty stretched out. But that's okay. I couldn't remember which ones I've changed already, but I'm just gonna change them both. And I already have diffs to change out, so I'll change those as well. And we'll be back up running. Maybe I'll put a 13.5. I have a 13.5 I'm not doing anything with. It wasn't the one I wanted, but maybe I'll put it in here after I put the new belts and new diffs. Anyway, this is a real rare design. It's a pretty, I wouldn't say inexpensive. It's around $280 for the kit, and then you're gonna have to buy all the electronics and things like that. It did come with a motor, but no ESC or anything like that. It came with a just a stock can. It's a RS Mabuchi RS 540. But yeah, this is just a little closer look at the setup on these and how they run. Equal length, motors in the middle, weights distributed really well. I'm going to finish working on this. I'm probably just going to tear it down the rest of the way. I kept getting notifications. I was working on this earlier and I took a break. I kept getting notifications. I checked my notification and there'd be a story on there from Earl RC about how, you know, Tamiya's nothing but toy grade, and you couldn't bash them and shit like that, and they're not meant to be bashed or anything like that. Everyone knows my view. Tamiyas are the original bashers, you know. They made a little bit of racing stuff back in the days. You know, they had some really top-notch stuff like the Avante, the Top Force, the Egress, things like that. They re-released those recently. Those things are phenomenal. And if you can find an original one of those three, they're worth thousands of dollars. Definitely not toy grade. Those chassis are beautiful. They're almost pieces of art. The Avante is crazy. I'm looking at a Top Force though. That might be one of my next buggies for sure. The Top Force, or they do make the shaft drive version of this. It's a DB02, and it's a shaft version of this with the center transmission with dual shafts. It's pretty cool. Those are around $300 too for the kit, and then you know you got to build it and do everything else. But yeah, you can see the ball bearings in there. See the ball bearings. I might just, you know, I have to repack that diff and stuff like that, and I'm probably just gonna change this, the gear. If you can see that, the gears on both, and back up and running here soon. I really like this buggy. It's pretty rare, and it handles really good. This belt-driven system's fun, especially the equal length. I wouldn't call this a toy grade at all. I mean, I wouldn't call much of Tamiya stuff toy grades. I've already got that out with the diff. I popped that right off. Yeah, you know, some of their, like the Grasshopper and things like that, that's more like for kids. They've got a lot of beginner stuff. They have a lot of line of intermediate, and then they've got some really top-notch stuff as well. Some of their on-road racing cars are phenomenal, especially that F1 racing stuff they got. That stuff's crazy, and it's expensive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, you know, clean this up, do the maintenance on it, lube the bearings, clean up the chassis, change the belts, and check the diffs, and either change those or just, you know, pack them with the Tamiya grease and shit like that. But yeah, so these are my toy grade. That's my toy grade. It's not badass. Oh wait, no, that's this one, right? Right, Earl RC. Earl RC. I don't really have a problem with Earl. I used to like Earl a lot too, you know. I was really cool with him. I was gonna send him a transmitter as well here, but was it Axiomatic? I guess sent him one. Or sent him a bunch of receivers, so that's cool, but I was gonna help him out. That live stream though, when he sent him those receivers, that's the day I was gonna see if he wanted me to send him this one right here, because I have 2 of those, just to help him with that little build crawler build he wants to do. That little, what is that, a WPL crawler thing? I mean, and that's not even really toy grade, I guess, because you can get metal upgrades for it, and you know, metal gears and stuff, and I think it has a metal frame. It's kind of toy grade-ish. That's more kiddish stuff, but I've seen a lot of upgrades for that thing. I think it's like, what, a WPL 14 or something like that. And that thing's cool. I wouldn't go on his channel after he built it and be like, oh, bro, that thing's not a no basher, that thing's crap, or blah, blah, blah. Or he didn't really say anything about crap, but, you know, if you read his comments on my page, you kind of see he's just a little condescending type of person. He's also a know-it-all when he doesn't really know shit. Pardon my language. You know, he's never had a Tamiya car. He's never built a Tamiya car. He's never built a car in general at all. He's never put one together. You know, he didn't even know how to work his receiver. I stopped in on the string for just a second. I couldn't stay, you know. And that's fine, because everyone needs to learn, okay? But you don't go and start telling me stuff about my stuff or about products that I've used a lot and try to act like you know it all about it, or trying to tell me the facts. You know what I'm saying? Those are the facts. And then you told me this isn't badass because it's not brushless, you know? Even though this thing's going 35 miles an hour with a 23 tooth pinion in this 19 turn 550 on 3S, it's moving, it's fun too. And it doesn't have to be brushless, you know what I mean? But he told me it's not badass. And that's fine, you know, that's his opinion. It's whatever. And this is a great chassis as well, you know, even with this plastic setup right here and these right here, it runs great still. And you can run brushless with it. I've seen people do it. They have a series the past 3 years where they take, it's like a build series, so they have 2 hours to build it. There's a team of 3 guys, they have 2 hours to build it, paint it, and then they race it for a whole weekend. You know what I'm saying? I think there's limitations on like the ESC and stuff, and 15-turn brush motors, and they have to use the stock suspension and the stock tires and all that stuff, and they have a blast, and these things run great. And they're running, you know, all the stock stuff, jump in, run it at the track for a whole weekend straight. And if you watch the videos on that, they love it. And they're really impressed with the TTO2B. It's a great all-around chassis, you know. And like I said, if you want to upgrade it, you can very well just get aluminum, you know, parts. They sell all the Tamiya hop-up parts for it and stuff like that. I'm probably not going to do much, like I said in my other video, besides maybe I'll go center shaft and some dog bones and maybe these C-hubs. These C-hubs are beef, though. Look at that. They're fat for what they are. You see that? It's toy grade, though. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but toy grade. And I'm a Tamiya fanboy. I'm a Tamiya fanboy who can't control his emotions, I guess. That's funny. I do this stuff for you guys, not me. Okay? I don't have to make videos for you guys. I do this stuff to inform people. I get a lot of budget RCs. So I'm definitely not a fanboy of one thing. I only have 2 Tamiyas. I mean, I've built about 4 or 5 in my day, but I only own 2 at the moment. I'm not an expert on Tamiya either, but I have built a handful of them. And I know the difference from the ones I built in the 80s and 90s and the ones I built today. They're different resins, which is great. And I love the fact that Tamiya re-releases all their old school stuff, but with a better resin blend for, that so kids can build them to this day and have the experience, but they're just a little bit stronger now. And this isn't a knock on Tamiya for having like weak plastic. Back in the days, all of it was. They didn't know how to make good plastic yet. If you wanted something strong back in the days, you had to go aluminum or what was it? It was graphite. Graphite was the shit. It probably still is. But they weren't making these like these resin blends and these high these space-age polymers back then. They just didn't hold up. They were brittle and stuff. So it was the 80s. It wasn't that Tamiya just was a bad product. It was just a product, a time where where most plastics were brittle. Shit changes. And with that said, Tamiya still had top-notch cars. The Avante and the Top Force and stuff like that, it's got carbon fiber and things like that. And that's back in the late 80s, early 90s. The chassis are carbon fiber and stuff like that. So that's a great thing. Anyway. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys the inside of this and show you how it runs and stuff like that. And I'll probably put the 13.5 brushless just to get a little bit more speed for messing around. And I'll probably go to the indoor track here and there. When I'm practicing, I'm not going to film. I'm not going to hold the camera while I'm practicing. So you guys don't see that part. And that's fine. But there's a track not far from here. There's actually a few indoor tracks and a few outdoor tracks at the same facility. So, anyway, this is my toy grade Tamiya, because everyone knows that Tamiya makes only toy grade kids toys and nothing else but. And if you don't think that and you don't agree with me, then you're wrong. They're nothing but toy grade, man. I'm giving you actual factual facts, man. And you're losing control. Anyway, can't stand it when people come at me like that, It's almost like if someone was to come talk about my Chevy that I built up, what I'm saying, from the ground up, and try to tell me that it was, wasn't very good, and I was trying to act like it was, a hot rod, and that it was, badass, but it's really not. That's basically how I felt. So you don't talk about a man's vehicle. You don't talk about a man's truck. You don't talk about a man's RC. And he goes, oh, like you built it yourself, or like you build them. Hello? You build these. These are kits. You build these. These are kits, man. And that's what makes it even better. Because you build it from scratch. You upgrade it. It's more yours. It's not a ready to run. When you get a kit and you build it from scratch, it's more personal for you, okay? And then as you change parts and things like that, you see and you feel the difference, and you're seeing results in your calculations with your pinion gears, your motors, and things like that. It feels good. It's fun. It's part of the sport. And for someone to come on there and, say that Tamiya is toy grade, that's kind of a slap in the face, if you ask me. The video was about 2 Tamiya buggies, about my 2 Tamiya buggies, and about what I like about them, my reviews on them, what I do with them, and then, here he comes, and he's saying that Tamiya is nothing but toy grade. But it's top quality toy grade, though, it's almost hobby grade. But hey, they're cool because I hear that you could put some hobby grade components in it. and it's fine, but you know, the kid's not experienced anything like that. You know, he's never built anything, and that's the problem. Anyway, I don't want to be a dick, and I unsubscribe from him. I'm gonna block him. I don't need his comments on my page anymore. He's very condescending. He's very smug. He acts like he knows everything. He acts like he's like, oh, he cares about people and stuff like that. And you know, he wants a lot of sympathy and things like that, and that's cool. He's really overweight. He's probably got diabetes. I understand. He seems not to have a lot of money. I understand. He doesn't work. It's probably health related. I get it. But even with all that said, I'm not going to give him a pass. You know, I'm not going to just let him talk to me and try to tell me this and this, and not, you know, set him straight, because I'm a straight shooter, and that's it. And that's what I'm doing with you guys right now. Anyway, if you guys don't like it, or if you guys don't like my videos, or you know, my reviews on a lot of the budget RCs that I get, then you can unsubscribe. That's fine. If you don't like, you know, the way I spoke to Earl on my comments, if you have a problem with that as well, then you can go ahead and unsubscribe too. You know, I don't do this. I don't do this for myself. I do this for people so they can learn. You know, this is a very, very rare buggy, and not too many people know what it is. And I wanted to show it to you and show you the components and see how it works, things like that. I don't need people telling me that it's no good, or it's not badass, or it's toy grade. You know, people are supposed to be my friends. Earl doesn't even have any RCs. It's funny, you know. He's got that little ZD racing buggy that CCXRC gave him, and then he's got an old Stampede, I guess, and that's fine. But I don't take shit from anybody. And that's the bottom line, really. So, if you don't want to subscribe to my channel anymore, if you don't like my content, if you don't like my demeanor, you don't have to subscribe. Anyway, you guys have a good one. Peace.